Welcome, welcome, welcome to Conversations with Sandra. Coach Sandra, compassionate queen of straight talk. And I am so excited to have with me today a brand new author, Francoise Bowen. Francoise, can you tell us where you're from and how we met?
Hi, Sandra, and hello to each and every one of you on the World Wide Web. My name is Francoise Bowen, and I am from and live on the Caribbean island of Antigua and Barbuda. We have 365 pink and white sandy beaches, yes, one for every day of the year. And currently, I live where you want to come on vacation because right now, I know many of you are cold and freezing and it's winter time, but here in sunny Antigua, from January 1 to December 31, it is summer. Oh,
That's just mean, but if I come visiting, I'm looking for a bed.
so where you're so frozen up, we just chill. I mean, we have the Christmas crisp breeze, which is chilly, not cold like in really cold, but it is chilly. And we are having fun right now. And why is it we're having fun right now? Particularly for me, I'm just excited that I'm able to have my first book out. It took 4 years, 4 years. And look at the copy right there. Yes, it took 4 years. It's finally out. And I'm excited for us to talk about this, Sandra. And look at how we met through Toastmasters at Leadership Speak. And Leadership Speak is an advanced club. And through Toastmasters, through our meetings, here's where I met you. And our relationship have grown these years. And you also helped me to play a part of this book and also sharing your, I want to say evaluation. Privately, you share your evaluation. Let me be honest with everybody. Privately.
For the public, it would be feedback and reviews. I am so proud of you.
Yes, yes, yes.
I am so proud of you
really
opening up. We're going. You're just a little slower behind me there. I keep thinking you're just done. Isn't it fun? We're going to be okay. We're going to do this anyway because we're not a robot. We're real. So go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Yeah, so I'm so thrilled and looking at the book, and I'm just excited that you have the book, Sandra. Honestly, I'm lost for words. I really am lost for words. And you gave your review of it, which is also in the book, and I'd love for you to share it with our viewers. And also, we also have distinguished Toastmaster Zivai Matundo from Southern Africa. She is my coach, and she also shared her feedback in it, her review. I'm saying feedback, her review in it, but privately she gave me her feedback, evaluation as well. And I want to also give kudos to how it really began was definitely during COVID. And I threw a free event that was very specific. I said, I'm home because the hotel had us all off, severed all of us, put it this way. And there were a lot of classes that was happening, obviously online. Some you had to pay for, and some were complimentary. And Miss Joan, I cannot forget her. She had a free event online with different coaches. And there I met Reggie from Trinidad and Tobago. And it's there in the coaching session he was like, okay, what would you like to do? You know, asking the questions. And there he started to pull. He started to pull, he started to pull, and broke down many times crying. And there it then had that positive domino effect flowing. Then I met distinguished Toastmaster Zavai in 2021 in Toastmasters, where they had a 10-week masterclass growth sessions. And there it continued to snowball. And here it is now, the book. And I would love for Sandra to just read up the back of the book, which is which is known as the
I'm going to go in the book.
Oh, she's going in the book. I would love
You're
for
going
her
to do the back of the book. But what I
and
want
I
to
have
say,
it on my screen. And throughout this time years, I was at the OAS, Organization of American States, free course again, which was in Barbados. And Professor Selwyn was the person in charge. And there were several persons throughout the Caribbean, from Jamaica, from Jamaica, come all the way down the Caribbean chain. A lot of us were part of this class. There, he asked the question, what will you do to pivot throughout this lockdown? And I said, you know what? I will write a book about being molested. And everyone in that class totally agreed with me. And they said, somebody needs to tell the story. Here in the Caribbean, we don't like to tell these stories. If you talk about it, it's seen taboo, and the victim is seen as the wrongdoer and things like that. And there I met Robert Gibson, owner of Passionate Editing Services, who is based in Barbados. And I think he was sleeping at the class because obviously you're on Zoom. And his eyes woke up and said, hey, I just heard like, yes, here I am. And we connected. This was back in 2021. And he has been patient with me because every month, Francoise, when are we going to do this book? Francoise, when are we going to get this book done? Francoise, let's go. Every month, I mean, a month don't pass and Robert is not on me about this book. I need to get the book done. So I'm really grateful for how everything come into play. Yes, it might have taken a while, but I'm really happy it is now here. And so far, the reviews that I've been getting privately, up to this morning, I got a message that this person just sent me a virtual hug and said, I am so touched by your story. But a lot of persons didn't know this is what been happening to me in the past. And I am just
let me get in here now.
it's so much, and I have to say, and I want to end off with my thanks, because I know once we get into the book, we're going to go really deep. And I want to say special thanks to Toastmasters, because what Toastmasters allowed me to do, I was very strategic. Everything that I kept writing in my manuscripts, kept writing, kept writing. I was very strategic of, let me use pieces of it as stories. Sometimes I was a test speaker in a contest. Sometimes at meetings, I use the speeches so I can get the feedback, what to do better, how can I, what work and what don't work. And Toastmasters allowed that safe space for me to share my story in various projects through the various educational pathways that helped me. And in addition to Toastmasters, I also met a former Toastmaster, Barbara Arundel, who is actually here in Antigua. She's a book author herself. She's a writer, and she also has a bookstore. And she was hosting, not free, paid writing classes. And it's through her writing classes, all through COVID as well, that I was developing how to write, how to be how to put my story together, because even in these classes that I was able to share my stories, it gave the feedback, how it will connect with the audience, or take that out because it's not connected or it's just flat. You know, the different feedback I got from everybody in the class. So I want to thank her and my former teacher from Princess Margaret Secondary School, which is a high school, Mr. George Imhoff, because he also was a part of the class. And he also gave me permission to use something in the book, because he was surprised to know I remembered something that he used in school in agriculture, and I used it in the book as well. And he gave me all permission and said, yes, go right ahead. So everything came into play, and I would keep saying COVID for me was a blessing. I know when people hear about COVID, it comes about negative, but we have to look on when something negative happened, there got to be a positive, because a diamond is not formed out of beauty. Pearls is not formed out of beauty. It had to go through a lot of rough for it to be become a pearl. And that is how I looked at the COVID. I said, you know what? One day I'm going to be hired. One day I know I'm going to have my business up and running again. So I need to ensure that I attend various growth classes that can assist me for the long run. It may look like it was a silly thing, but here it is. I'm now employed, thank God. And also, I now have my book, and there are other things that will be happening. So yes, here it is. The book is here, part of the blessing of COVID. And and it's right then when I pray, I say, okay, God, I'm home. What is going on with my character? Because my character stinks. Just
Okay.
like
Me,
that.
I want to just make it very clear that you can't stop talking about how the book was created, which is a whole writing class in its own. And that's really important to know, because birthing, it's like birthing a child. I've had the children, I don't think you have. But this has been like birthing a child, and
Yeah.
it's taken a whole village of people working with you. You had to do the work. You had to do the tears as you cried your way through those terrible times of being molested and the deep feelings that were inside. But this book really did get birthed through pain and tears. And I just want to now move into the book a little bit to see what is your wish for this book to do. And in order to open that up, I'm going to read a bit of my endorsement from the book, and then you're going to read that first paragraph from the back of the book, and we can talk about your dreams for this book. I wrote because as I reviewed it, I realized that this book is the telling of a childhood of molestation and inappropriate touching. It's bold and raw, bold in the courage of disclosure, and raw and pure in its honesty. Interestingly, Francoise Bowen tells her story innocently from the eyes of her inner child, uncovering the horror of abuse and the deep scarring that follows her decades later into adulthood. Mommy and Daddy have no knowledge of the secrets this little one keeps because of the fear of the perpetrators. Mommy is sobbing now as her adult daughter discloses her past in a charming mix of English and native composition. Personally, I believe this book is going to bring community groups together into study and action. It's important for teens to read this book so that they know they're not alone. Important for mothers and grandmothers, fathers and grandfathers to come together in community and protect the future children from this pain that you have suffered. This is the book for educators and leaders in government to build resources and bring healing and health to their communities. When I reviewed your book and gave you my feedback, you hadn't realized that you were writing it as a little child. And then all of a sudden I got to the end, closer to the end with all of the resources and research. Ah, that's what it was. Now the adult was in speaking for it to take action. Just read your opening lines and then tell us about your hope for the book. Read your opening lines from the back cover.
Sure. The very tall, bald-headed man asked me to do something to him. I asked him, "What is that?" He looked at me with a smile on his face, held my head down, and taught me everything I wasn't supposed to know. Sandra, even though I'm reading this and it might have happened so long ago, I still remember it like it happened yesterday. I still have the whole location, everything still there.
Wow.
Still there. And I mean, there's a part I say in the book that with that the sentence, the before, and I think it would have been after, like, I don't know how he bypassed everyone. I don't know how he did it, but he must have been watching and observing everybody's movements. I did say that as well too. Sandra, I want parents to understand this. I'll make it clear that somebody touched them, believe them. Don't ask questions. Believe them immediately, especially a child. At that time, I was just what, 5 years old.
Wow.
In an instant, innocence was stolen from a 5-year-old girl in the laundry room of a small hotel. This started a life of shame and low self-esteem with multiple instances of inappropriate behavior meted out against her, which is me. This is 2024, and I've noticed something. I don't know if you've noticed it, Sandra, what has been trending a lot, but from January, the end of January, early February, all we keep hearing in the news, persons are being accused, some accusations, but have been charged for sexually molesting, raping some child who is now an adult. And then you also have children are saying, listen, this happened, that happened. You hear it in the news. Every day we look at Hollywood, Hollywood and the R&B singers and producers, music producers and all of them. We hear the names, we all know. We hear about churches, we hear about priests and these things. And it's like 2024 in particular is like it's all just exploded. It's like, you know what we say in our native language here in Antigua is the straw that broke the camel back. It was like enough. And I've been honest, I cried. Every time I go on YouTube and I see on my news feed, child, something happened to a child, parents are speaking out from a Christian community and from the secular world. This happened, that happened. I honestly cry because I think about myself. When a child is touched inappropriately from a tender age, best believe it, that forms a different character that they were never born to become. I remember my pastor, Dr. Ken Sharp, who actually wrote a forward in the book and also helped me during COVID in counseling every Sunday on the church bus, just us alone when we're going for church members. The first thing he said to me, "It is not your fault." That's the very first thing he said, "It is not your fault." And one of the things he shared with me, because he has the studies in the background with this, is that scientists made it clear if you want to know what the child is going to become in an adult, you must look at the age of 5 and 6 years old. Scientists, this is not him from the pastoral talking from the biblical, language, but from a scientific point of view, they've made it clear. Check a child at 5 and 6 years old. That will let you know what type of adult they're going to become. 5 years old, a big man looking at me, a little girl, and think he can have fun with me. Think he can have his way with me. And obviously, the different things that he did to me opened up my appetite to the wrong things.
I mean, we just need to look at this little girl. This is you.
That's me.
Little girl at 5. Could you imagine it with our own little children and our grandchildren? Here in Canada, we live along the 401, which is the corridor across the border, just north of the US border. And here we are in Belleville, but the 401 corridor, they call it, is also rife with modern day, today, sexual exploitation, It just keeps changing its colors, but it doesn't go away. And hopefully enough of us are making noise around it to be more watchful and to be there to help. But it is a big issue, and it's all over the world.
Yeah.
And just how to turn it, I'm really hoping that you promote your book to the schools and to the government everywhere. Do it to the churches. It has to be promoted to all of those locations for little study groups. I've read it twice now. It's not a heavy read. I mean, it's heavy in some of the content, but the print is comfortable to read, and there's about 100 pages. It's very quick and easy to read, not so quick and easy to digest.
Okay.
But it really needs to be out in the world and promoted to groups where you encourage them to get together and do study groups and ways to talk. You've even put little worksheets in there so that they can figure out how to talk, where the family brings the children in, the church brings the children together, wherever it can happen. So those little children aren't suffering alone, keeping secrets. And those teenagers will know that they're not alone. It's very important.
And I think that's where having the different worksheets inside of the book, I ensure that even from the advice you're given to me, listen, we have the problem, we need to have the solution. So
yes.
the book itself is twofold. So it's not you're reading all problem and oh my goodness and oh my God, and then you leave on a negative high. You're on this negative high, and then no. So you have the high, but you also now end in a different high where okay, then here's the solution. How can I contribute? How can I play a role? How can I do it? Because everybody's not going to be about the politicians, because politicians at the end of the day, as Miles Monroe, the late Dr. Miles Monroe said, politicians only looking about the next power. And I think a lot of us across the world noticing how a lot of governments are behaving, you know. So the regular me and you on the street, we need to, how can I help? Okay, this is my neighbor. What's going on with my neighbor? How can I help them? If their child come over to me and report and say somebody inappropriately touched them, let me see how I can approach the parents. Because, and sadly, let me say this quickly, sadly, Sandra, we do have neighbors who are willing to help. They see things happening, they're willing to help, but the parent or the guardian is so ignorant, extremely ignorant. This is what we say in our local language. They're ignorant, they're hot-tempered, they don't want to listen. Oh, don't tell me anything about that. They just rude. They just want to have their own way. They're just disobedient. And make the child, whether the child is 5, 8, 10, 14, 16, they're still a child because they're under the age of 20. They're still a child. And now they are locked in with the wound that they received and don't know what to do. And I'm not speaking about children that mean to, like, you know what, I really don't like my mom, I don't really like my dad, I'm going to lie just to make them, you know, I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about real things, like things really happen, but the parent or the guardian refuses to believe. So now the child now wondering, who can I go to for help? Because somebody was willing to help, went to their mom, went to their dad, went to the guardian, whoever it may be, and they got shut down. And sadly, let's now look at it in another way. Sadly, in some situations, not all, in some situations, why let me look a little specific for the parent. Why some parent, whether it's a single mother or a single dad, may shoot it down because that person is a breadwinner for the family. And when that person who is a breadwinner of the family recognize they have everything in their hands, obviously they're going to continue to traumatize that child until the child cannot take it anymore. They run away, they try to sleep over by friends or whatever the case may be because they like they had enough. And there's sometimes that some of these teens, let's look at the teens who run away, they're still a child. Oh, they come from a good home. Why would they run away? Oh, the parent is this, and oh, they have it well, and blah, blah. But you are looking on the outside because the family had to put on a persona for an image purpose, that they're all perfect, they're perfectionists. But the child run away because obviously there's things going on inside the home that they can't take anymore. I mean, that's just a real situation. And now you have to grow up, they become an adult, and then they become so much rebellious that at work, some of them do act it out. Some may not act it out at work, but they know how to act it out when the time comes.
And and whenever the abused child grows to the adult and starts their own family, if that hasn't been cleaned up, they don't know the difference. So generationally, it starts to repeat itself until someone is able to break that chain. And that's a challenge. I believe it was in the book also, wasn't it, that you also volunteer with street walkers?
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah.
Correct.
Because they have a chance to break the chains now if they can get their help so that they don't continue it for their children.
Correct. And a lot of them, I mean, when you speak to them, they this is not the life that they wanted. This is not the life that they look forward for.
No.
No. And here they are stuck in this lifestyle that they want to get out of. Yeah, it's the side. Here's the good and the bad. Let me start with the bad. The bad part is that when persons do approach some of these streetwalkers and whatnot, there's some of them who have ulterior motives. So a lot of times, obviously, the streetwalker is going to put up a defense and they're going to be like, no, and they're going to have that reaction. So they also don't know who to trust. They still have trust issues. They do still have trust issues. And then on the good side, though, when you are able to say, hey, listen, God love you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. And these are the languages that I actually use. I don't go to them with, listen, you thing and no. I go to them with these simple languages and they change. The whole expression change. Basically, the let down the guard. You see it. If the shoulder would have been up, obviously that means that they're in a thing, fight mood, But for the time you just let them know, hey, God love you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. Hey, you're so pretty. And you just see the shoulders just drop, they relax. And they smile and say, thank you. And it's like these simple phrases change their entire mood. Because sometimes they're in whatever they might have been in or thinking about, it just made them realize there is hope. There is hope. And I had to recognize it so that there is hope. First molestation started at 5. Second molestation continue on at 6. 6 2 times. 5, 6 to 6 years old, twice. And the second one, the third one that happens by a woman who was supposed to be a protector. Oh boy, I could still see my mom reaction. And the last one, I was a teen. I was attending Princess Margaret Secondary School, high school. And it was like, oh my goodness. Like, why?
It doesn't go away. It doesn't go away.
No. And I can tell you what my mom reaction was for the one that was a lady. She was honestly so mad. So she was kind of putting 2 and 2 together. So she was like, okay, so that explained why something, my mom must have gone there to her to gone there to get something and recognize how she was reacting to her. And she figured only when she's like, okay, so maybe her conscience has been guilty all the time. Her conscience must have been bothering her all the time because she knew what she did. And then the last one, the one who threw me down in the bed. This is the one that I've never seen this side of my mom, to be honest. I thought it was my dad. Where is he? Is he alive? Where he living right now? I need to see him. Like, mommy, I don't know if he's alive. Mommy, I don't know where he is. Where is he? I need to know. And and I mean, she went, I said, Mommy, okay, Mommy, listen. Number one, do you want to go to Red Gate Hotel? No, Red Gate Hotel here in Antigua, it is his, well, not Her Majesty Prison, because obviously Queen Elizabeth II has passed away. It is his, because we're still on King Charles. So His Majesty Prison, which is 1735. And the gate, I mean, the gate itself is painted red. So we call it Red Gate Hotel. You know, that's where the name comes, Red Gate Hotel, which is a prison. So I said, you want to go to Red Gate Hotel? Do you want to go up there? What can you do now? Mommy, it doesn't make any sense. It already happened many years ago. There's nothing that we can do right now. Like there's nothing that can happen right now. I understand you're upset. I understand the anger. It is all right. I fully understand. But going to see if we could find him, way is and whatnot is not going to in any way going to serve any good purpose. Do you want me now to become up there looking for you? You know, and it made me appreciate her more because it made me realize she has that protection. She is a protector. And my mom and I, I didn't grow up with my mom. I grew up with my grandmother for years. So I don't really know my mom like that to say. So seeing her reacting like that and that she really wanted to put there, it made me really understand how much parents really need to be there for their child, no matter what age, just be there for their child. And the number fourth one, every time I think about it, I get I get a little I get a bit upset. You know, I really do get a bit upset. But I mean, I'm not at that place where I can't talk about it. And if I talk about it, I'm going to break. And no, I can talk about it because I'm here. Not saying that not forget. All of us, we get marks. I mean, we get a cut and we still see the scar, right? I mean, like, oh yeah, I fell down. The scar is there. So the starting from 5, coming all the way up, these things definitely really shaped my character. And it shaped me in a way where I was rebellious, rude, um, entitled, and just mm, just I just need about me. And when I began working, because after I finished school, I didn't go to college. I went straight into the work field. I went straight into the work field, and from the work during that time, I really began to get really loose. Like I got loose, not openly like an open street walker, but privately, because I still believe that I am somebody, and I still believe that someday, you know, I am of a value, and here it is that I will be of help of somebody, and here is one of it, my book, come out to help somebody. And I just want persons to read, when they read the book, read it with an open mind, read it with an open heart. Don't read it for gossip. Don't read it for talking points. Because you just don't know who right there where you are went through it, going through it, and don't know how to come out of it. You just don't know. And They may come knocking on your door. I need your help. You might be someone who went through it like me and even worse. Wait, in these things. And from reading this book, you'll be like, oh yes, you know what? I remember I was reading Stolen Innocence. I recognize how I could assist somebody in some way, you know?
And I'm going to kind of bring us to a wind up there, watching the time a little bit. It's been wonderful. Your passion shows through. This is your own personal story. And you're right, it is not here for gossip. It is here to reach out to educators, parents, teenagers, government, and so critical. I got this one on Amazon, so everybody can order it on Amazon. I just want to read the last part of the book cover. Sexual assault is rampant worldwide. I'm in Canada, you're in the Caribbean, in Antigua, Barbuda. In this hard-hitting book, the author, Francoise, hopes to pull the covers off of this insidious practice and expose it to the light, along with the mental health issues that it causes, letting survivors know they are not alone and there is help. Do you have any final word you'd like to say as we're saying goodbye, Francoise? How would people get in touch with you? Or I guess if they write down the book. Stolen Innocence.
Yes, they can get into, well, obviously they can get in touch with me. My email is Barnn, BARNN, 3 N's, and breadhoney@gmail.com. They can follow me on the social media pages, Barn and Bread Honey. They can on Instagram and also on Facebook. You can get, from right now, you can get the book in paperback and also in a Kindle. The audio, I've gotten requests for the audio for persons who are always on the go. The audio is not ready as yet. That will be worked on, because myself and the publisher, we have been looking on it, and that we're gonna have that. The Spanish, I must say, is one that will be happening. So I don't have an intention of just leaving this for the English, because I need my foreign language family, friends, everybody
That's
to
right.
read it. Yes, yes, definitely. And yeah, so it's on Amazon. Give your reviews on the Amazon app, please. Do give your reviews there, because it will help other persons who search for the book. When they read your reviews, it will help them to also buy the book and share the book with others as well too. And if you know someone who went through this, breathe an open arm to them. If you don't know anyone who went through this, but you went through this, let this book help you to heal. Remember, you are not at fault. Okay, you're not at fault. And if you don't know anyone who went through it, you wouldn't go through it, hey, take this as, how can I be of service? How can, oh, what's the word? People know what, philanthropist? He doesn't, I know the world say this, what is a philanthropist, or somebody who's given this X amount of money and, whatever it is, but you can still be your own philanthropist in a small way, and get involved and help. Right now. The world needs to be a better place. Where you are right now, it's about winning souls, and at the end of the day, healing. Let the healing begin.
Let's say goodbye to the audience. It's been wonderful having this time with you, Francoise, and we'll get it all posted out on social media, you and I. Take care.
Thank you.